Like.
All right, so yesterday we finished up the Inspire citing. I think for the most part, there's a couple of you that may have some issues that we have to kind of figure out, but for the most part, everybody's done. And that was a little bit of a pain. Why was that kind of hard? Even though it was cited for you, what was kind of challenging about that? Typing it and getting it formatted correctly. And now we're kind of starting the second part of citing, which is any source that you found on Google that is not an Inspire article. And part of the reason why I'm picky about what sources you found on Google and why you had to have my approval before you could actually start writing note cards on them is because we want valid sources with an author, with a date, with a publisher, because of what we're going to be talking about today. And that's the reason why your computers are closed. I'm going to walk you through the citation instructions for an electronic source, and I've got 2 articles that are valid sources, but each website sets up their article format or that website differently. And what can be challenging is trying to find this information on this website. All right, so on Purdue Owl, which is kind of like the Bible for research papers, there are several citing instructions, and since students more and more are utilizing electronic sources, again, as you guys are 7 weeks after tomorrow from finishing your sophomore year, one year closer to college, it's important to become familiar with this. You'll be utilizing this your junior year as well for the research paper that you'll be writing. So a lot of you are going to be utilizing this link right here, MLA Works Cited Electronic Sources. Let me make that a little bit bigger, okay? And we're going to skip down. This is the basic style for citations of electronic sources, including online databases. The beautiful part about Inspire, even though it's a pain to kind of type it and format it, it has done all of this for you. Now we're on to the set of sources where you get to do it yourself. So there's about 7 or 8 bullets of information that you have to include in your full works cited. And it's so important that your works cited is perfect before we even start writing, because if our works cited is not done correctly, then all of those parenthetical citations, what are parenthetical citations?
In-text.
The in-text citations, I refer to them as parenthetical citations. If your works cited isn't done perfectly, then you're typing all those body paragraphs and all of your in-text citations are incorrect. So this is really critical. This is really important. And it's not, again, like I said, works cited, this is day 3. It's not fun, it's very tedious, but it's so essential before we even start writing the paper. So you've got this bulleted list, and what you're probably going to have to do is do the split screen, where you've got this, okay, and I'm going to close this, and then I pull up an article. I'm going to pull this over here so that I can kind of go back and forth and also go to my works cited page and start typing these. And you might have a different way of setting this up, and that's fine, but it really is needing to be able to go back and forth between this information and the information on your article. So I don't have this printed out, which is why I'm going to do the split screen here. Okay, so this was a site that I told all of my classes about, the Poetry Foundation. It's a valid source. And I need to look for, do I have an author or editor name? Some of the websites do have, again, most of your valid or credible sources will have an author, and some of them don't. And typically, where is the information of the author located on a web page? It's usually at the top, but sometimes they stick it in another place. This has nothing to do with the article, this has to do with the picture. Sometimes students get confused when they put a bunch of different information. So I'm going to do kind of a quick scroll, or again, you've got your hard copies that I'm going to check here in a little bit. And I just want to make sure, just in case, sometimes they will stick the author, this is a long article, okay, at the very bottom of the page once I get there. Okay. So again, sometimes they'll stick it at the very end, sometimes even at the very bottom. But I'm not seeing any author. So if they don't have an author, then the rule is you skip that and you start with this. Article name in quotation marks. And that's usually located also at the very beginning of the article. Again, your title can be formatted in a couple of different ways. What is my title? Because I've got like 3 pieces of information right here up at the top. Do I incorporate this? Sometimes they will have a subtitle, a second title, and you have to include that. And if you're not sure, you've got to ask. Because I've had students that assumed, oh, it's just this part, it's not this part. And when I saw the website, I said, yep, you've got a subtitle, a second title. Okay? So, and the other point that's kind of hard is they, on the Poetry Foundation, capitalize the E and the D, but sometimes the website will capitalize every single letter, sometimes they'll lowercase it, but in this sense, it is typed correctly. So I'm going to go to my work cited. I've started working on it. And the order of your work cited, and you'll remember this from freshman year, it has to be in alphabetical order. So I really want to make sure that as I'm typing these, I don't cause myself more work, and I put it in alphabetical order. So E, Emily, this is going to go up at the top. And I'm going to start typing my citation. The period is going to be incorporated in most of your pieces of information because it shows, Alex Marshall, the end of that information. This is the title of the article. Once I'm done typing that article title, I put a period and I end with the quotation marks. I hit space once and I'm going to go back to my bulleted list. Now I need to find the title of the website, project, or book. Look here, it says in italics. So again, I'm going to go back. What is the title of this website? Because here I have the URL. I've got a bunch of information up here. What is the name of this website? Poetry Foundation. And again, this is what I just referenced. Poetry Foundation is in all capitals. Do I type it like that or do I change it?
Type it like that.
I type it like that because that is the title of the website. So I go back to, okay, look up at the board. Those of you who've got your head down, I just want you to look up so you can see what I'm doing. I hit Control-I to put it on italics, and I'm going to type it exactly as they have it. I'm going to take off the italics, and I'm going to put a period, okay? So Connor, if you can stop doodling on your folder and just look up for me. One space, back to my bulleted list. Any version numbers available, including editions, volumes. They also have some other information, revisions, posting dates. That you're going to have to look throughout the whole article. Sometimes it's in the beginning, and sometimes it's at the very end of the website where it's updated, posted. They don't have anything. So again, as I'm looking at my bulleted list, I am skipping bullet number 4. But again, you've got to pay careful attention, and if you're not sure, ask. Now I'm going to go on to bullet number 5, publisher information. Where is the publication information? My publisher and the copyright date. It is always at the bottom. When students were asking me, is this site valid? I was always looking for a publisher. Because if the website doesn't have a publisher and a publication date, then it can be a WordPress, it can be a blog, it can be anything. So you've got to make sure that you find where that information is located at the bottom. And again, you've got a lot of different information that they've put on there. So I'm looking for this copyright, and my projector's a little off. It's right here. Copyright 2018 Poetry Foundation. This is the way that you type it in your works cited citation. You start with the name of the publisher, and notice here it's all lowercase, and you're going to type it just like they have it. Poetry Foundation. Notice that I don't have this italicized. I'm going to put a comma, and then I'm going to put 2018, which is my publication date, and I'm going to end with a period. Space. Again, this process is very tedious when you start citing articles off of Google that you have found. And several of you found really good articles, but this takes time, and you want to make sure that it's done correctly. Next, take note of any page numbers or paragraph numbers. For an online source, do you guys have to worry about page numbers? No. Does anybody in here have a book, like a hard copy of a book? That you will need page numbers for, okay? So I'm going to skip that because I'm using an internet source. Now I need the URL, and again it says without the HTTPS://. So I'm going to take that part out. Easiest thing I'm going to do is copy and paste that web link. I'm going to go to my works cited. I'm going to make this full so that you can see it. And I'm going to copy and paste it into my Google Doc. The problem is I still have some blank space from here to here, which we talked about with your Inspire, but since it can't fit the entire website, it puts the whole URL on the second line, so I've got to fix that. First, I've got to take out the HTTPS, and I'm going to start from here. Remember that we need to indent any line after the first, and the easiest way to do that is to put your cursor at the top of the line, hit enter, and then you're able to tab. I want to guesstimate how much room do I have left, and where is a good spot that I can kind of cut off my URL. I don't think I'm going to be able to get all of this in. I think www Poetry Foundation is too long. Yep. So I'm just going to leave my website where it was. Just going to hit undo, and now I'm almost done. I'm going to hit a period because you cannot have that hyperlink. One space. Remove that. Okay. This is a little bit of a pain with the hyperlink, but you get used to it. Last part on Purdue Owl. I need the date that I accessed this material, and you do need to have it. This will be the final piece on your research paper. And I know that I accessed this website 2 days ago. Today's the 15th, so that's the 13th. You're going to write accessed. And then again, because this is MLA, you have to write the dates a little weird. 13, and I have to abbreviate March 2018. And now my citation is done. It's correct. And when it comes to parentheticals, this is going to play a part in my in-text citation. So that one wasn't too bad. I have the second article. This is a little bit different. This is from the Smithsonian. Again, as I'm going back and forth between the website and Purdue Owl, I'm going to start right back here at the top. Okay? So, for this, I have an author, David C. Ward. Do I include his middle initial?
Yes.
Yes. Okay? So Ward, if I'm looking at my works cited page, is going to be the last entry for now. Ward, comma, David C. period, one space. And the next step is the article name and quotation marks. What is my title, Nick Combs?
Walt Whitman, Emily Dickinson, and the War That Changed Poetry Forever.
And?
The Two Titans of American Poetry chronicle the death and destruction of the Civil War and their poems.
Is the capitalization all correct? No. The second title has a lot of words where the first letter needs to be capitalized. Okay? Now some students, again, and this is where I'm going to even pull this over. Good. There we go. I'm going to pull this over. I tend to like the split screen. It makes it easier for me. If I try to copy and paste, some students say this works. It kind of depends on your computer. If I try and copy that, it ends up doing this. And I don't want to mess with that. So I'm going to click undo, and it's just as easy to kind of type this. And I need quotation marks. Walt Whitman, Emily Dickinson, and the war. And even sometimes I type too fast. That changed poetry forever. When I have two titles, what's the punctuation that I'm putting after forever? Does anybody know? Colon, and that's the two dots. Space. Now I have to go into my second title. The reason that I have the capitalized is because it's the beginning of the second title. But almost all of these words are not capitalized correctly. Two needs to be capitalized, Titans. Of is not because it's a preposition. American poetry. Chronicled, the is not capitalized, death is, and is not. Destruction is, of and the are not. Civil War, in, there is capitalized, and poems, period, quotation. Do I worry about the indentation right now? No, I need to finish typing my full citation, and then I'll go and fix the indentation. I want to get this done correctly first. So again, I've got my author, I've got the article name. Now I need the title of the website. Oops, this one. What's the title of this website, Christy? Smithsonian.com. Some students get confused. Do I need to include the .com? Yes, you do. Need to include Smithsonian.com. What do I need to do to it before I start typing? Italics. So I'm going to hit Control-I. Smithsonian.com. I'm going to take off the italics. I'm going to hit Control-I again. I'm going to hit a period, space. Next, any version numbers available, including additions, revisions, posting dates. Do I have that information anywhere up at the top? What is it, Aaron? August 14th, 2013. Very good. This is a posting date, and you need to incorporate that information, and you have to write it backwards. So it's going to look like this. And again, this is where you've got to pay close attention to your articles. 14, AUG, you always abbreviate the dates in your full citations. No commas. 2013, period, space. Back to Purdue Owl. Publisher information. That's going to be at the bottom. So I'm going to scroll all the way down. And I got to go back up a little bit. They should have publisher information. Let me go ahead and go to full screen. Oops. Ah, there it is. I just had to make it full screen. It's probably going to be Smithsonian.com. Just have to find it. Even I can't rush through these. You've got to just take your time. All right, where is it? There should be a publication date. And even though I'm glad that several of you found articles that are really strong, this is what is kind of a pain. Now I've got to figure out where all the information is located for this article. And again, it should be right around at the bottom. So what we're going to do, they've got the Smithsonian.com here because for whatever reason they don't have that copy. We have a posting date. So on my works cited, and this is why I wanted to give you two different examples, I'm going to type, and it's not going to be in italics. When you are not given a copyright date because they gave us a posting date, then you're going to put that date as your publication date again. So comma, Smithsonian.com, 14 Aug 2013. We're almost done. I don't have to worry about page numbers. I'm going to copy and paste my URL. Stick that. Again, I got to make sure there's one space. That's okay. I'm not going to worry about that for now. I'm going to put a period. Accessed 13 March 2018 period. Now that I've got everything in the right order, I can start fixing the other issues. So I'm going to put my period up here. I'm going to hit enter, tab. Once you do that once, I should be able to fix. So it's indented everything. It pushed this over a second time. I just have to hit backspace. I've got to remove my hyperlink. And the last piece is this big white space. Where can I cut this off? So I think I can get this in. I'm going to try and backspace that. Nope, I need to go a little bit further. Anytime you try to backspace that up and you get this, it means that it's still too long. And I'm looking for where I can get that cut off. Now I should be good. There we go, space, remove. I'm going to remove this hyperlink. I'm going to bump this up now. All I'm doing is backspacing. And there my citation is done. That's a much longer one compared to the first one that we did. It had a lot more information. So, the works cited is another assignment that's leading up to the research paper. And I'm going to be really particular that it's got to be done in the right format. You've got to utilize Purdue Owl. Don't open your computers just yet. And it's got to be spaced perfectly. If you do not have your Inspire articles in alphabetical order before you start, you need to make sure that you get these all arranged in alphabetical order. And then you need to start citing your Google articles. And that's what I'm getting ready to check next. Tommy.
Is there a shortcut to like putting them in alphabetical order, or you just have to copy and paste it?
In a Word document, there is an alphabetizing tool, but Google doesn't have that. So all you have to do is if you need to move, you can just highlight, hit cut, and then copy and paste it so you can arrange your Inspire articles in alphabetical order. How do you alphabetize if you don't have an author's last name? You just use the first word in the title and use that to alphabetize. Again, this works cited is very tedious, and it's why I'm saying I want you focused, I want you paying attention so you can see how I'm typing this, because I want you to get this right. And I want to set you up so that you are successful and you get a high score. All right, let's get out your articles. We'll go ahead and